Hi there everyone, Alex again with Stellar Finish Auto Detailing. Today I have this Mustang in here that unfortunately had a little bit of a side swipe incident. And what we're going to demonstrate is how we would touch up the paint without going through the whole hassle of having a panel resprayed, which sometimes is the best scenario, but other times we can get away with, just doing a small touch up and it meets the customer's expectations and it's a lot more affordable and quicker. So we're going to do a close-up demonstration of what we're working with and how we use certain tools like this and other tools to make the touch-up look a little bit more professional than your typical touch-up pen. Okay, now this is a Lowell Corning needle applicator, I guess I would call it, or something similar to that, but basically it's got a little tiny paint pot, you can see it there, and a very small orifice in the bottom. And what we do is we reduce the paint a little bit to let it flow a little easier. And I'm gonna try to keep this in focus, but what we basically do is we just flow it right into this little spot. It gives us a really precise application. As you can see, it ain't perfect. A touch-up isn't really gonna ever be perfect, especially when it looks like this. But what we're going for with the customer's expectations are get the darkness away from the primer showing, and then we gave it a little bit of a sand and a polish to level these highs and lows. We'll let that cure, give it another polish, and it should be something you won't notice from 3 or 4 feet away. And a lot of the time, that's what a touch-up is really intended for, is to just really touch it up and not going for perfection. If you're looking for a perfect job, the only way to really get by is to get a spray. So we would send you to the body shop. They would have to go through and decide if they're going to do what's called a blend, which is where they would just spray the section that's affected and try to blend it into the rest of the color, or they would choose to redo the whole panel, so going from body line to body line, the whole panel. But again, I'll give you another little demonstration of how we can do this. It just flows in there really nice and easy. We take our time. It just gives it a little bit better appearance, actually a lot better appearance, I should say, than using the brushes that come in those Duplicolor paint pen kits or the kits you get from the dealership. The paint in there we find is sometimes very old, and even if they say that it's a new pen, you can never really be sure when it was made. And the problem with those is that they don't flow as well. They leave a really high ridge on the paint, and some of them actually have a 2-part system. So you'd actually put the base color, wait for that to dry, then put the clear on top of them. We find that those just look really horrendous after. We get our clients to go to a local body shop and they mix up a color matched paint code touch-up pot. It's around $20 or less, maybe a little more, but in that range, and it's already got the reducers and the hardeners built right into it, so it's ready to go. It's the same automotive grade paint that they would use in their spray guns at the body shop, so you're getting the exact match for your paint. So we're going to demonstrate another little tool that we use sometimes for maybe larger spots, and this is good for giving a little bit better coverage than the needle applicator, but also still finer than the traditional brush or nail brush that comes in your standard paint touch-up pots or kits. So we've dabbed the paint on the end of this little fuzzy ball here, and let's try to keep it in focus for you guys. This is just another way we can touch this up. Keeps it really nice and flat. The paint flows and levels quite well. And that gives us a little bit of a buildup for us to then go ahead and sand and smooth down after, but it definitely deposits paint, a little bit of a wider stroke, and then we'll probably continue to touch up these small ones down here with our needle applicator. So we're getting there. It's not perfect, it ain't great, but it ain't bad. So as you guys can see, we've done our full coverage touch-up of this spot here. We went back after the paint had dried and did an additional layer just to give it that really deep opaque white look instead of being able to see the primer through the first layer there. So this is definitely not perfect. We know it's not perfect. The client knows it's not perfect, but what we're aiming for is just an improvement on what was there before. So that's the game with touch-ups. We're not going for perfection. That would require a repaint of this panel, and that can be a little bit more costly in most cases. So what we wanted to do is improve the look from 10 feet away, 5 feet away, and make it look like there's nothing really there until you get your nose up in it. And what we might do with this once the vehicle comes back to us at a later date and the paint's fully cured and hardened is give it a little wet sand and a polish just to level these high spots and really give it a nice finished blend. And that should be the final touches to this touch-up. But thank you guys for watching. If you have any questions about your own vehicle, whether something can or can't be touched up, give us a shout or reach out to us, and we'd be happy to advise on the best way to get your car looking a little bit better if that's the case. So thank you guys for watching. We'll see you in the next video.